Hello, this is Dean Takahashi from VentureBeat. I'm here with Stewart from IDOS of Square Enix, and he's here to talk about Tomb Raider, which is going to be debuting soon. A reimagining of Lara Croft and the whole Tomb Raider franchise here. So that's very interesting. How did you guys start thinking about reimagining Lara Croft?
So after we finished Underworld, we obviously, as you know, did a little digital game called Lara Croft and the Guardian of Light. Once we finished the trilogy of stories, which was Legend, Anniversary, Underworld, we made the decision that we needed to go back and revisit our character. And she had some very core attributes, things such as, you know, she was an iconic character. She was one of the first three-dimensional characters into space. She was a success for over 15 years, 15 plus years. And we felt it was about time we went back in and sort of reimagined that story. We obviously did a lot of studying of movies and TV shows and even other games, and tried to really go back and tell a tale of how Lara Croft becomes that forged hero that we all know her to be, but we wanted to show her in a very different light, make it culturally relevant for today.
What can you point out about her right here? This poster is telling in a way. I guess, you know, she's solving a problem there. She's got a wounded arm for sure. So she looks different. I mean, very young, right? She's 21 in this.
So the goal of this image is one of the first images that we've released of the game, apart from just how she looks in her face. It's one that shows a sort of much younger Lara Croft, more human Lara Croft, somebody who's in a situation that we've never really seen her in before. She's shown an emotion that is very uncommon for our character, and that is sort of the moment. She's right here, obviously the tourniquet image as we class it, trying to deal with the situation at hand more so than the situation on the island. I think it just shows a grittiness, a determination of a character which we've never seen, never really seen before.
And I guess I have to point out it's pre-plastic surgery, at least from what I can tell, right?
I would say this is the vision of our Lara Croft. She won't change from this point on. This is about sort of looking beyond just the sort of the outside qualities and looking at a character from inside, the psychological, the emotional, and sort of the younger Lara Croft that's, you know, gritty, adventurous. This is her first time sort of going out on her own, and it's a very unreal situation that she finds herself in.
And you showed a couple of levels here of what it looks like, and I have to say the graphics are really stunning. I mean, they're beautiful graphics. You know, like you can see things like I guess the reflection of light in her eyes, right? I mean, you do some real close-ups. It's really emotional in a lot of ways as well. Tell me more about the thinking.
So I think at this stage, the one thing to point out is that we're still very early in the process. This build that you saw today was created at the end of February. We're not releasing until 2012, so we still have a long way to go. But one of our goals with the vertical slice was to cement the pillars of what a game should really be, almost make the blueprint of the game all the way through. And one of the core things was to make sure that the cinematics delivered a human quality, a side that we've never seen before. And in order to do that, we have to go into such detail as reflections, water, parallaxing in the world, the emotion in her eyes. As you watch that cinematic, you would have seen it was more about looking at her face than listening to what she was saying. It all came together. And some of the techniques
I point out too that you can really see the light glistening on water on her hand, right? I mean,
yeah, we go into some real detail. And not so much is going to, apart from the sort of the macro, the micro detail, we also do the macro detail. So the performance that you saw today in the cinematic, we do that in sort of a one-stage process, but we incorporate three different elements. One is, apart from just the motion capture, we also have the character or the actress who were actually playing Lara Croft and Roth performed there and then. So they're VO captured. We also do sort of real-time camera so that we can really extract the most out of every little ounce of emotion that the character's going through. So when you see her sitting beside Roth today, that scene was fully acted out. That girl really pushed the emotion as far as she possibly could, and we were able to extract that into the game.
Now, there's always a couple of things that are really tough to do in graphics. I guess the movement of facial muscles and the lips matching the words that are coming out of the mouth. I mean, that's hard.
Again, it's very early on. You can see from today the ambition that we have to be able to deliver a very real experience. So I think over time that will improve. a lot. It's already improved. Like I said, this was February when this was done.
And the quality of the water as well is another
thing. The quality of the water. We're working with a studio out of LA for some of our sort of cinematics, and so most of this that you see today was streamed in game. And Giant, who are famous for working on Avatar, we have them as some of our backbone for building some of these sequences. So over time, we will start to use different techniques to be able to extract core motion. Some of that will be in obviously how we do lip movement. But in terms of water, again, it's very early. I've already seen a lot of stuff internally about how we move water, and I can tell you now, it's going to blow your mind.
Okay, cool. Yeah, Rockstar just released the LA Noire, and they had the very interesting facial animation and capture technology there. That was one approach to trying to do human faces really well, but it's almost requiring like you're basically capturing an artist's face or an actor's face, right? Here you're trying to draw something still, right?
Yeah, I think every studio has different techniques that they want to be able to sort of master and portray. LA Noire, without a doubt, have set a new benchmark for people looking at how to bring across an emotion that you've never truly seen in the game before. You may have seen it in things like Heavy Rain, but certainly they've broken some new boundaries. To us, a lot of it is about taking the essence of our character and being able to extract that through the character performance. So it's not just about facial animation, it's about even down to just how the movement of the body reacts. It's making her feel human and making her feel like she's in this space. What you saw today, some of it was about how she performed, how you looked at her eyes and you really felt like she was saying what she was saying and that the emotion was being extracted. But then some of it was about how she related to the world. She moved around some of these spaces, such as the tunnel and the cave. She put her hands out onto the wall to feel like she knew where she was. When she runs by the waterfall, she puts her hand out. It's about not just face, but about how she reacts in the world. Our goal is to make sure that when you play this game, you feel like she's right there. You feel like she's in this world and you're playing something that relates to the space around her.
Feels a lot less, say, Indiana Jones-like, and a lot more maybe realistic, I guess.
It's a lot more gritty. A lot more gritty. One of the core pillars, the core foundations that we decided very early on was that we're not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater when going back to reimagine the series. We wanted to make sure that it kept the attributes of what it meant to be Lara Croft and Tomb Raider, such as the sort of the exploration, the combat, so the resourcefulness that Lara had. But for us, we needed to be able to make sure that the character performed in that world. So Indiana Jones is maybe something that people take inspiration from. For us, it was about putting everything that you saw today through sort of the survival filter. She's a young girl thrust into a situation which is completely uncommon to her, and she has to survive. She's going to do some of the things that you or I would do, albeit I wouldn't like to be hung upside down, have to burn my way out of a sack. But she's going to be put through situations where you in a way can relate to. We've done a lot of work studying certain things like Aaron Ralston, for instance, was depicted in 127 Hours, and about how that struggle for survival, how that kind of, that internal belief that you can keep going on, so the ambition to do something, the turning point in which it all goes wrong, and then the sort of the belief in that you can become something else. That's something we're trying to portray in this version of Lara Croft.
Making her more relevant for today, I guess, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Culturally relevant. We want players to feel like this is somebody I can relate to and somebody that I can believe the story that she's been put into. And therefore, when they play the game, they'll feel sort of that character arc is a lot stronger.
That's great. That's Carl Stewart from IDOS and Square Enix, and Tomb Raider coming in 2012.
Thank you very much.